Okay, Adobe Illustrator, we're going to have a look at that one now. What I want you to do is to go to File and go to New, and this dialog box will come up. The profile type we want to go to Print. At the moment it's A3, and we might say A4, sorry, we might change it to A3. Units are millimetres, and that will be okay. And there now we have an A3 piece of paper. So what I want to do is go to View and put Guides on. Sorry, not Guides, put Rulers on, Show Rulers. And that shows the rulers across here. So there's your 0 mark. Okay, so it's 0 through to nearly 300. We also want to show the grid. And we also want to snap to grid. Okay. Now I've got my grid on. It'll show every 10 millimetres. The big squares here are 10, the small ones are 5 by 5. This program to zoom, you hold the Control key down and the plus button, and click on the plus button, and you can make things bigger or smaller. Sorry, you can make things bigger with plus. Control and minus will make things smaller. Okay, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so we can see what's happening. All right, underneath document setup, I can change my colour of the grid and things there, so I can change that. I've got my grid set to red so it stands out a bit more. Underneath, I think it might be underneath preferences, so underneath guides and grids, there we are. I've changed mine to red, and you can also change the grid lines as well. I think 10's a good thing, and subdivisions too, that'll show you every 5 millimetres. Okay, so the drawing tools we're going to use are down on the side, and we're just going to draw a square, and we're going to put a circle in it and just muck around a little bit with things like that. So underneath here we've got the rectangle tool. The little triangle bit at the bottom, if I click and hold my mouse down, I can come up with these other tools. So wherever I see that little triangle in the corner, if you click and hold down on that, there are other tools underneath it. So we'll go to rectangle, and we'll come over here, click, whoops, come over here, click and drag holding your mouse down, and you can draw a rectangle. You see it's going to snap to one of those grid spaces. Okay, and there's our rectangle. It will continue to draw rectangles, or want to draw rectangles, because that's the button that's depressed, until you hit the selection tool, and now you won't be drawing rectangles. If I select that, over here I've got the width and the height. At the moment it's 150. If I change that to 80 and hit enter, you can see it's changed the width. If I change this to 20, enter, you can see that it changed the height. So you can change your sizes over here. So we might make it 120, and we might make it 25. If I come over here and hold my mouse down over the rectangle, I can move it to wherever I want. So once again, I come over here, you can see that when I move it over, there's a little square that hooks in there. If I hold my left mouse key down, I can move that to wherever I want. Alright, so I'm going to move it right up into there, so it's 5 millimetres away from the side and 5 millimetres away from the top. Okay, click again and I deselect it. So now I can draw, let's draw a circle. Now the ellipse tool, if I click and hold my left mouse button down, I can get an ellipse. But if I hold my Shift key down, it will draw a circle. So the Shift key will lock it so that it will draw a circle. Okay, and over here that circle is 75 by 75. If I want to change that to a 50, well, what I've got to do is I've got to change it there. That'll make an ellipse, and then change it there. Cancel. Oh, I said I want it 50 by 50. So there's my circle now, drawn 50 by 50. Now remember, it's still depressed here, so if I try and do anything here, if I try and move it, it's going to want to draw another ellipse. So I've got to deselect, okay, and then I can move this thing around to wherever I want. You can see the little centre X is showing up, and it's only snapping to one of those grid squares, okay, and for what we want, that's probably good. So that's how you draw things. Text. I can draw things there. Once again, if I want to do anything else at the moment, because text is selected, it'll just want to keep drawing text. If I hit the selection tool, that gets rid of it, and now I can move it to wherever I want, or I can rotate to whatever part I want to go to. It's going to want to rotate again because that one's depressed, so I unselect, and then I can move that to wherever I want to. Okay, so there's some basics to get you started. So have a bit of a muck around drawing some different shapes. Draw a rectangle with some rounded edges. Try and change the sizes of things, and see how you go with just those few little basics.